Get ready to become a small-handed criminal mastermind. This is our review of Tiny Laser Heist.
Tiny Laser Heist is a dexterity party game all about stealing jewels and earning money. And I had a lot of fun recruiting teams, dropping locks, and having a lot of laughs.
I've enjoyed this game ever since we play tested it at Gen Con a few years ago. We'll tell you all about it after this quick how to play. Tiny Laser Heist is played over several rounds with a new player becoming the mastermind each round.
The mastermind will recruit other players to be on their heist team based on the heist cards the other players offer up.
The heist team then has 90 seconds to use their tiny hands to move padlocks out of the way and move the diamond to the pedestal.
The heist team must be careful not to trip any of the laser alarms or else they'll fail the heist.
If the heist succeeds, the team splits up the money cards for stealing the diamond.
The game ends when the deck of money cards runs out and the player with the most money wins.
Before you go off stealing jewels, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button.
All your likes and subscribes really help our channel shine bright like a diamond.
We got a chance to play this game with Evan and Joss, the founders of Very Special Games, at Gen Con a few years ago, and it's pretty much in the same state as it was then. You had to use your little tiny hands to move the locks out of the way. Oh, and I just messed up. Out of the way, and then you got to move the diamond to the pedestal, and you got to work together. So I would have one hand, and another player would have the other hand, and you got to work together to try to move the stuff. And it's a lot of fun, but it is very difficult because as you're going, things can fall like you just saw. It's hard to get that pressure right when you're playing with another player and you're trying to push it and trying to move things and get it into place to get it up on the pedestal. And then that can happen. So if you snap one of the bands, then you set off the alarm, in which case your heist fails as well. So I really enjoyed the funness of it. It's definitely a dexterity game. It's a lot harder than it looks, but I think once you've played it a few times, and if you're working with the right player and you kind of gauge that pressure on the hands, then I think it can be a lot of fun. And when you start earning a lot of money and you have the most money at the end and you win, it really feels like you accomplished a lot because it's not just a, oh, move this here, move that there. It's like, oh, it really took a lot to get that diamond.
When we played this, I felt like it came at a time like a little bit after COVID. We're getting more and more comfortable that we're starting to see more games where, hey, you want to play a game? You know, just more social, more. So it was a breath of fresh air when we saw them and we saw this and it was like, oh, finally, like we can, you know, even more now. We're going to start seeing more and more games where we can just like be together and, you know, play.
So at the start of each round, a player becomes the mastermind and they're going to have to wear the mask while they're playing the turn with the hands, and other players will have cards. So if you're the mastermind and you want to steal a particular diamond, there are padlocks that are on that diamond. You're going to need padlock cards that match it. So for example, this one over here, this diamond has a yellow, a blue, and a pink padlock on it. So that mastermind is going to need a yellow, blue, and pink padlock card. So if the mastermind has the blue padlock card, they're going to need other players or one other player that has the pink and the yellow padlock cards. With their powers combined, they can go after that diamond. Or a player may have a wild padlock card, which can go for any of them. Plus, there are some other abilities, like you get extra time or things like that. So you may want to offer up your heist cards because each padlock on top of a diamond is going to get you a money card. It could be 3 cards that are each worth 1 million, or you can have a card that's worth 2 million, or a card that's worth 3 million. So you never know which cards there are. And as you're offering up your heist cards to the group, you're like, okay, well, I'll give you that yellow padlock that you need, but I want one of the money cards that you're going to get for succeeding at this heist. So that's how you negotiate before the actual heist begins. Then once the mastermind has figured out who's on their team, they execute the heist. If they're successful in getting the diamond to the pedestal, they dole out the money. You keep playing until you run out of money cards. Player with the most money at the end of the game wins. So not super complicated. The complicated part is the actual dexterity of moving it onto the pedestal.
So sometimes there just come decisions, right? When if there's only 2 locks out and really like you don't have any of the cards, you might need one person that has everything. You might just need to recruit 3 and then hope one of the 3 doesn't want to get a money card, but they just want to play because they might have another card where it's like, if it succeeds, you get a money card, or if it fails, you get a money card, and they might be trying to sabotage you too. Sometimes the more than 2 player heists are fun because you got that extra person like stabilizing, like either underneath or on top. And there's even cards that let you go in through the roof. I remember my original thought was, oh yeah, every time we'll just like boop, boop, you know. It seemed easier, but there is a card that's like a helicopter where if you have that, then the whole team is allowed to like go in at the top and etc.
Otherwise, you're not allowed to go through the top.
I will say sometimes the negotiation when you're trying to recruit and everything, that gets a little messy because sometimes it's like, okay, well, I have this and you have that. And sometimes the other person can be like, no, I want all of the money. It's like, okay, well, you can't get all the money. Like then like there just won't be a heist. And then sometimes like, well, I guess there just won't be a heist. It's like, no, we got to do it. So just take one and I'll take one. Like don't be like that. Sometimes those little conversations are a little weird, but you got to redirect them and say, I'm the mastermind now. So I like the whole team aspect of it where you're just having fun with everyone and you're like, and then you drop the locks and you can pick them up. That doesn't end the round. The only thing that ends the round is tripping the laser or you run out of time.
I like the funness of performing the actual heist. That's kind of an obvious thing of it. It's that dexterity of working with that teammate, of trying to figure out how much pressure you need and moving around and then trying to maneuver through the different lasers and all that kind of stuff. And it's funny when you set one off and it's like, oh my God. So that whole aspect of it, the selling point of the game is what makes it fun. It definitely nails that. It's fun to play with the hands. It's fun to try to move the things around. It's fun trying not to trip the lasers. It can be difficult, but it is a lot of fun. What did you not like about the game?
I wouldn't say it's a big deal. There was one minor rule I felt like I have to keep on reminding everyone. And it's the fact of like, if you go in through a wall and let's say you take something out, you have to like keep it there. You're not allowed to, it has to re-enter through the same wall. It's not a like make or break kind of rule, but I wanted us to play true to the game. So I felt like there were some people that were like, oh, okay, hold on. And so that, like, let's say it would drop here and then they would try and like push it around. I'm like, no, you gotta bring it back in this way if you're trying to do something.
The thing I don't like about the game is you have to set it up each time, how you see it set up right here. So each piece comes apart. This piece comes out, this piece comes out, and then you have the side. If you already have it set up and people are coming over, you're like, oh, okay, that looks awesome. But if you're trying to set it up, oh, let's play this game, and you're setting it up, everyone's sitting around, and like, oh, okay. And then the adverse of that is you have to take it apart once you're done playing. I mean, I guess you could leave it set up on a shelf if you really wanted to do that, but you got to take it all apart, try to fit it in the box, try to organize it just right so that the lid comes down shut on it. So it's a lot of setup and a lot of time to put things away for a game that is fun. I just don't know if it's always going to be worth that setup. The other thing, as far as the setup goes, is the lasers. Yes, I know they're supposed to trigger easily if you let them go, but as you're setting it up, if you're just setting it up and then it triggers, it can release all the other ones and you got to set it all up again. So setting up the lasers after setting up everything, it's just a little bit of a hassle.
Overall, I'd buy this game. I like its presentation, I like its setup, but mainly I like whenever I have game nights, I can have different people over, and this just seems like a fun, like, hey guys, look at this game you haven't seen yet, let's play it. And it's just a lot of laughs and a lot of fun.
Overall, I'd play this game again. I don't think I would buy it, because Lear would already have it, but even if we didn't have it, I don't think I would buy it because I just don't know how often we're going to take it out, set it up, and play it. It is a lot of fun when it's already set up, and if we go somewhere and it's set up, or we go somewhere and someone really wants to play it, I would play it again. It is fun. I just don't know if it's worth my time to have it, set it all up, and go through all that. If I was giving a score on Board Game Geek, I'd probably give it a 6, maybe a 7 for this type of game. It is a lot of fun. I do think you should try it at least once just to see what it's like to take the hand and try to move things, and then when you set off an alarm just to see what it's like, kind of a thing. So with all of that said, I would definitely play this game again. And that was our review of Tiny Laser Heist.
What'd you think? Is this going to be a steal for your next game night? Let us know in the comments below.
As always, if you're enjoying our content, please like this video and subscribe to our channel.
Until next time, I'm Lee.
And I'm Kenny. I go party like a board gamer.